Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're plunging into the fascinating, rapidly expanding world of information security.
It's definitely a hot topic.
Absolutely. And it's way beyond just firewalls these days, isn't it? It's really becoming a foundational piece of our whole digital world. We're going to explore just how big it's getting.
That's right.
Our source material for this is pretty comprehensive. It's from the Global Information Security Market Forecast 2021-2033 report put out by Cognitive Market Research.
A solid source.
Yeah, packed with insights on where things stand and, crucially, where they're headed.
And our mission today really is to unpack that incredible growth. We want to highlight, where the big shifts are happening globally and regionally.
And what the opportunities look like.
Exactly. And maybe most importantly, try to distill what this huge expansion really means for you. Cut through the noise, get to the core ideas.
Okay, let's do it. Let's unpack this, starting with the big picture, the global view. So when we look at the global information security market, the numbers themselves, they tell a pretty dramatic story. The report pegs the market at roughly $130 billion back in 2021.
Yeah, $130.443 billion, to be precise.
Right. But here's where it gets really interesting. By 2033, it's projected to just explode. We're talking over $500 billion.
$556.41 billion.
It's staggering. That works out to a compound annual growth rate, a CAGR, of nearly 13%.
Yeah, 12.849%. And, to put that in perspective,
Please do.
we're looking at a market that's set to, well, almost quadruple in size in just over a decade. That's not just steady growth.
No.
It's explosive. It really signals this universal demand for sophisticated security solutions. That CAGR, it isn't just a number on a page.
Right.
It implies this rapidly accelerating global reliance on digital infrastructure. And at the same time, an escalating need to defend it all against, well, an increasingly complex threat landscape.
You mean things like ransomware, state-sponsored attacks?
Exactly. Ransomware, nation-state cyber stuff, the constant expansion of, digital attack surfaces as everything goes online. Cybersecurity, it's really stopped being just an IT cost line item.
Uh-huh.
It's now fundamentally a business imperative, survival almost.
That makes perfect sense. Okay, so let's drill down a bit. Let's look at the regional breakdown. Now, maybe unsurprisingly, North America is a real powerhouse here.
Oh, absolutely.
Its market was valued around $58 billion in 2021.
$58.047 billion, yeah.
And it's projected to also more than quadruple, reaching over $237 billion by 2033. Just huge numbers.
And if you dig into North America a bit deeper, the United States is clearly the dominant force. It accounts for a massive chunk of that growth. We're talking almost $47 billion in 2021.
Right.
Projected to hit nearly $190 billion by 2033.
Wow.
But it's not just the U.S., although it's the giant. Canada and Mexico are also showing really robust growth.
Okay.
Canada's looking to grow its market almost 5 times, from about $7 billion to over $30 billion. And Mexico, quadrupling its market size from around $4 billion to almost $17 billion.
So the whole region is booming.
Exactly. And this substantial growth in North America, it really underpins the global trends, doesn't it?
Right.
Because you have these highly mature digital economies.
Right, lots of tech adoption.
Significant cloud adoption, a pretty robust and, evolving regulatory environment, the data privacy laws, breach notifications.
Things that push for better security.
Precisely. It constantly pushes for higher security standards, which kind of raises an important question.
What's that?
What are the unique challenges these highly interconnected, very advanced digital economies face that actually drive such massive investments, not just compliance?
That's a great point. Something driving that urgency. Okay, now let's pivot. Let's look at another region showing incredibly strong growth, Asia Pacific.
Ah, yes. APAC. Definitely one to watch.
The market there valued around nearly $32 billion in 2021.
$31.698 billion.
Right. And it's forecasted to really surge, to over $150 billion by 2033.
Which is, nearly a 5-fold increase?
Yeah, dramatic growth over just about a decade.
The expansion in Asia-Pacific is truly remarkable. And it seems largely driven by countries going through rapid digital transformation.
Makes sense.
You look at China, figures are substantial, projected to grow from around $8.5 billion in 2021 to over $41 billion by 2033.
Still huge growth.
Definitely. And then there's India seeing an absolutely extraordinary surge from under $5 billion.
4.881 billion.
to over 25 billion in the same period. That's more than a five-fold jump.
Incredible. And Japan?
Japan's also projected to more than quadruple its market, about $4.8 billion to over $21 billion.
So China, India, Japan, the big players there?
They are, but you also have others making significant contributions.
Yeah.
South Korea growing from $2.4 billion to over $10 billion. Australia, similar numbers, $2.5 billion to over $10.5 billion.
Yeah.
Singapore, smaller starting point, $1.6 billion, but growing strongly to nearly $8 billion. And then the rest of Southeast Asia collectively from $2.6 billion to over $13 billion.
Wow. So broad-based growth across APAC.
It really is. And if we, connect this back to the bigger picture,
Yeah.
it just highlights the emergence of these markets. They aren't just participants anymore. They're becoming really significant digital players on the global stage.
Building out their infrastructure.
Exactly. Rapidly building digital infrastructure, which just inherently necessitates robust protection. You build it, you have to defend it.
Right, right. Okay, let's move across the globe to Europe. It also represents a very significant market.
Definitely still a major player.
In 2021, Europe's information security market was just over $25 billion.
$25.436 billion.
Yeah, and it's expected to reach over $100 billion by 2033, so quadrupling as well, roughly.
$101.8 billion projected. Still a massive market, absolutely. And it's really a testament to that consistent digital growth happening right across the continent.
And within Europe, who are the main drivers?
Well, several major economies stand out. Germany is projected to grow quite significantly from just over $5 billion in 2021 to nearly $22 billion by 2033.
Okay, leading the pack there.
Seems so. The UK isn't far behind, though. Set to more than quadruple its market, too, from about $4 billion to over $16.5 billion.
Right.
And France is also a significant player, growing from around $3.3 billion to over $12 billion in that same period.
So Germany, UK, France making up a big chunk.
They are, but you also see strong growth in Italy, projected to hit almost $9.6 billion. Spain, over $8 billion. Even Russia, despite, everything, projected around $6.8 billion.
Interesting.
And then you have the Nordics, like Sweden, Denmark, plus Switzerland, even smaller hubs like Luxembourg, all showing solid growth, maybe 3 to 4 times their 2021 size by 2033.
So what's interesting about Europe's growth? What makes it tick?
Well, I think it's partly Europe's diverse regulatory landscape, GDPR and all that.
Right, to focus on data privacy.
Exactly. That strong focus on data privacy, plus the increasing adoption of cloud services and also industrial IoT securing manufacturing and critical infrastructure. There seems to be a really clear emphasis across the continent on compliance, yes, but also genuinely securing critical infrastructure.
Yeah.
It drives that steady, considerable growth.
Got it. And it's not just these, the big three regions, North America, APAC, Europe, that are driving this, is it?
Not at all. That's what's so striking.
The report shows this consistent global trend, like South America, for instance, projected to quadruple its market, too, from around $7 billion
$6.914 billion.
in 2021 to over $30 billion by 2033. And Brazil is leading the charge there, right? Projected over $12 billion itself.
Yep, Brazil's the major player there.
Mm.
And then you look at the Middle East, also expanding significantly from about $5.5 billion?
$5.479 billion, yeah, to over $24 billion by 2033.
And key players there are Saudi Arabia, Turkey, the UAE, all showing really strong growth trajectories, hitting around $7 billion, $4.5 billion, $4.6 billion respectively, respectively.
Okay, and finally, Africa.
Africa, too. Started from a smaller base, under $3 billion in 2021.
$2.87 billion.
But also set to more than quadruple, reaching over $12.5 billion by 2033.
And the leaders there?
South Africa is a big one, projected to grow from about $1.1 billion to over $5 billion. And Nigeria is showing considerable expansion, too, from under $400 million to about $1.75 billion.
Wow. So really, across the board.
That's what's truly fascinating here. It's the consistent global nature of this growth. It cuts across every continent.
Yeah.
It clearly indicates that information security, it's just not a niche concern anymore for, just the tech-heavy nations.
It's universal.
It's a universal priority. Every region, pretty much regardless of its current economic size or digital maturity, seems to be facing similar digital risks.
And investing accordingly.
And investing heavily, relatively speaking, in protecting their digital assets, their data, their critical infrastructure. It really signifies this shared global understanding.
So you just have to do this now.
Exactly. That robust defense mechanisms are absolutely essential in this incredibly interconnected world we've built.
So Pulling it all together then, what does this all mean for you listening right now?
Yeah, the so what factor.
It seems undeniable. The global information security market isn't just growing, like incrementally.
Yeah.
It's undergoing this massive, pervasive expansion. It touches every continent, every major economy.
Yeah.
These aren't just statistical blips. They feel like they represent a fundamental reprioritization, right?
Exactly. These figures, they're much more than just numbers on a spreadsheet. They represent a truly fundamental shift in how everyone operates. Businesses, governments, even individuals.
Now we prioritize digital protection.
Precisely. The sheer scale of investment we're seeing projected, that $500 billion mark, it reflects this widespread, almost undeniable recognition of how critically important cybersecurity is.
In our interconnected world, yeah.
It tells us that things like digital trust and resilience, they're not optional extras anymore. They're not nice-to-haves.
They're necessities.
Absolute necessities. Foundational. And billions upon billions are being poured in to try and ensure our digital lives, our digital economies, can actually function securely.
Okay, so let's recap the core insight from this deep dive. We've seen just overwhelming evidence, haven't we? A surging, truly global information security market,
Undeniable.
driven by this universal digital transformation, everything moving online, and the increasing, unavoidable need for robust protection against threats that just keep getting smarter.
Couldn't have put it better.
Mm.
And maybe here's a final provocative thought for you, the listener, to consider.
Okay, let's hear it.
This projected growth, hitting over $500 billion by 2033, it really suggests a future where digital security isn't just an add-on or an IT function. It's a foundational pillar
Part of the bedrock.
of every single economy and society. So given these astounding growth rates, you have to wonder, what new kinds of security challenges might emerge that could push these numbers even higher?
Things we haven't even thought of yet.
Maybe. Think about, say, the rise of AI-driven cyber threats, or the looming implications of quantum computing breaking current encryption. Could that send these figures stratospheric?
That's a scary thought, but plausible.
And on the flip side, what unprecedented opportunities does this incredible demand create for innovation, for new technologies, and importantly, for career paths?
Yeah, huge implications for jobs.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In a field that's clearly, just getting started in many ways and becoming more critical literally by the day.
Powerful questions indeed. We really hope this deep dive helps you reflect on how these insights impact your own understanding of our digital future and the absolutely critical central role that information security is set to play within it.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping into a topic that honestly feels more critical every single day. Yeah. The world of information security.
It really does. Everything's digital.
Exactly. In this digital landscape we're all living in, every second counts.
Yeah.
And protecting every byte of data, it's become absolutely essential.
Couldn't agree more.
Now, this deep dive is fueled by insights from the specialists over at Cognitive Market Research.
Good stuff there.
And our mission for you today is pretty straightforward. We're going to unpack the major forces, the drivers pushing this vital market forward.
Right.
We'll also look at the significant hurdles, the restraints it's facing,
Yeah, the challenges.
and, maybe most excitingly, the game-changing trends that are really shaping its future. So think of this as your shortcut to understanding what's actually happening under the hood of digital defense.
Let's get into it.
Okay, so to kick things off, let's explore what's really propelling the information security market. I mean, you look at the news, it feels like we hear constantly about cyber threats.
Oh, constantly.
But beyond just, the sheer number of attacks, what's the really significant driver here?
Well, what's fascinating, I think, is it's not just more attacks, though there are more. It's the alarming sophistication we're seeing. These are new attack methods that, frankly, traditional defenses often just can't catch. We're talking about a really sharp rise in ransomware.
Right, where they lock up your data.
Exactly. Hold it hostage. Then you've got disruptive DDoS attacks, just overwhelming systems with junk traffic.
Yeah.
And those really insidious phishing scams, designed to trick people, trick users into giving up sensitive info. And these aren't minor things. We've seen huge data breaches hitting everyone. Global banks,
The
hospitals,
hospitals. Yeah, that's scary.
tech giants, even government agencies. It's everywhere. So this whole escalating threat landscape, it's basically pushing organizations globally to fundamentally rethink their cybersecurity.
You have to.
They have to. And double down on investments just to safeguard their sensitive data and, honestly, keep the lights on, maintain operational integrity.
That makes total sense. The threat itself really forces that response. But okay, beyond those direct cyber attacks, what other big factor is really compelling businesses to invest so heavily in security?
Well, if we kind of connect this to the bigger picture, it's the regulatory environment. It's getting much, much stricter.
Compliance, right?
Exactly.
Mhm.
All across the globe, you see regulations like GDPR over in Europe, all about data privacy.
Hmm.
Then HIPAA in the US for healthcare data specifically. You've got regional ones like California's CCPA
Yeah.
and industry standards too, like PCI DSS for anyone handling payment cards. These aren't suggestions anymore.
Yeah.
Organizations are operating within these really strict legal and I'd say ethical frameworks now,
Yeah.
and the consequences. They're not just theoretical. We're talking steep, steep financial penalties,
Huge fines.
huge fines, and maybe even worse, a catastrophic loss of customer trust. That's hard to get back.
Impossible sometimes.
Yeah. So these growing compliance demands, they're a really major reason why you see enterprises embracing these structured, full enterprise-wide security solutions. It's not piecemeal anymore.
Okay, so we've got the external threats, we've got the regulatory pressures, but what about the internal shifts? How businesses are actually operating day to day? How's that impacting the security landscape?
Oh, that's a crucial point. The rapid pace of digital transformation and especially cloud adoption, that's another huge driver.
Right, everyone's moving to the cloud.
Everyone, businesses are fundamentally changing how they work. They're relying more and more on cloud platforms, these huge IoT networks,
Internet of Things, yeah,
and of course the massive rise of remote work ecosystems we've seen.
that changed everything.
It really did. And this distributed environment, it just exponentially raises their exposure to threats. The old perimeter is gone.
Yeah, the walls are down.
Exactly. So it means intelligent, scalable, integrated security systems. They're not optional anymore. They're genuinely business critical because that attack surface, the area hackers can target, it's just exploded.
I think so.
Now, while the growth in this market is definitely strong, really strong, it's also important we talk about the other side. There are significant restraints, some real roadblocks facing the information security market.
All right.
One major barrier is simply the high cost, deployment, and maintenance.
The budget.
The budget. Building out a full-scale cybersecurity framework, especially for a larger enterprise, it needs a substantial upfront investment. And not just in the software and hardware,
Yeah.
but also in essential employee training that's key, and the continuous system upgrades you need to stay current.
It's never one and done.
Never. And for many small and medium-sized businesses, this financial burden, it can be a really significant hurdle, a real challenge.
So it sounds like this double-edged sword, then you absolutely need to invest heavily, but actually finding that budget can be tough.
Precisely.
What's another critical bottleneck then, holding organizations back from really truly fortifying their defenses?
Well, beyond the money, there's a global shortage of skilled cybersecurity professionals.
Oh, the talent gap. You hear about that a lot.
It's huge. Despite all the incredible advancements in security tools and AI and everything, many organizations just lack the people. The human capital needed to effectively manage the threats, configure these complex systems correctly, and respond quickly when an attack actually happens.
Right, because the tools don't run themselves.
Not at all. And this talent gap, it's genuinely one of the biggest bottlenecks we see in companies fully capitalizing on all the security tech that's actually available out there.
It all sounds like security teams are just playing this endless game of whack-a-mole, but like on an exponential scale.
That's a pretty good analogy, actually.
So if we connect this to the bigger picture again, what's maybe the final restraint organizations are really grappling with?
The final restraint is, I think, the sheer overwhelming complexity of the threat landscape itself, how fast it evolves.
It changes daily, doesn't it?
Almost daily, yeah. New vulnerabilities, new attack methods are popping up constantly. And this forces companies to adapt at an incredibly rapid pace.
Yeah.
But often they have to do it without adequate resources, whether that's budget or people, like we just talked about.
Right.
And this constant pressure, this scramble, it can lead to fragmented security approaches. You plug one hole, another opens up. It leaves cracks in the armor that, unfortunately, cyber criminals are very quick to find and exploit. It's just this continuous high-stakes game of catch-up.
Wow. Okay, but it's not all struggle and defense. Let's shift our focus now to some of the really game-changing trends, the positive stuff that's redefining information security.
Good idea. There's definitely innovation happening.
First up, and this feels like a monumental shift, is the integration of AI and machine learning.
Mm.
What's the real impact here, beyond just the buzzwords?
Yeah, AI isn't just about finding the threats we already know about. What's
Yeah.
really powerful is it's spotting anomalous behaviors, things that look weird.
Okay, so patterns.
Exactly, patterns that signal entirely new, unknown attack types. It acts almost like a predictive shield, which is something we haven't really had before in the same way. These technologies are enabling real-time threat detection, automated incident responses, so fixing things faster, and incredibly sophisticated predictive analytics. They help identify these patterns and anomalies across huge amounts of data.
Massive data sets.
Massive, far faster than any human team possibly could. So, yeah, they're becoming absolutely essential tools in the security playbook today.
That sounds like a really powerful leap forward.
Yeah.
Okay, what's another significant, maybe architectural shift we're seeing in how organizations approach security?
So, another really significant trend we're seeing is the widespread adoption of zero trust architecture, ZTA.
Zero trust. Heard that term a lot.
Yeah, and it's a fundamental shift. Unlike the older, kind of outdated perimeter-based models, the castle and moat idea.
Right, trust but verify, or rather trust inside the walls.
Exactly. Zero trust operates on a core principle. It assumes nothing is trusted by default. No device, no user, whether they're inside your network or outside.
Okay, so default deny.
Pretty much. Assume breach. This approach mandates continuous identity verification, constantly checking who you are, strict access controls based on least privilege, and real-time monitoring of everything happening.
Interesting.
It offers a much more holistic and, frankly, more resilient defense mechanism for organizations today because it just assumes compromise is possible or even likely and verifies everything all the time.
Okay, very different mindset. And finally, we're seeing this really exciting shift towards something called DevSecOps. It sounds like, well, development, security, and operations all blended together. How does this kind of proactive approach really change the game?
You've got it. DevSecOps is all about integrating security into every single phase of the software development lifecycle, right from the very beginning.
Not bolted on at the end.
Exactly. Not an afterthought, which it often used to be. By embedding security protocols, security thinking, early on during design, during coding, during testing, organizations are actually preventing vulnerabilities before they even get close to production.
Stopping it at the source.
Precisely. It's a proactive rather than reactive approach. And that's a massive change from traditional models where security often came in late, trying to find and fix problems. DevSecOps is gaining widespread traction because, well, it makes sense. It prevents issues instead of just cleaning them up later.
That seems much more efficient and safer.
Definitely.
All right, and that's a wrap on this deep dive into the information security market. We've unpacked the major drivers, the threats, the regulations, the tech shifts. We explored the significant restraints, the costs, the skills gap, the sheer complexity.
Yeah, the challenges.
And we highlighted those game-changing trends, AI, zero trust, DevSecOps, all drawn from that robust research by Cognitive Market Research.
Good overview.
So what does all this really mean for you, listening in? Maybe take a moment to consider how this intricate balance, this tug-of-war between protecting digital assets and the constantly evolving nature of threats, how it impacts not just huge organizations, but also your own daily digital interactions. Think about the trusts you place, consciously or unconsciously, in the online world every single day. Something to mull over.